guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So in today's pick a card reading, we are going to be taking a look into your life in 6 months from now. But just before we get into it, I wanted to give a huge thank you to our sponsor, which is Happy Days. Happy Days is a one-woman owned spiritual self-care shop based in California, but she ships internationally. On her shop, you can find crystals, accessories, manifestation candles, and much more. I got some products from Happy Days a while back, which you may have seen on my YouTube channel or on my Instagram. They are absolutely beautiful, and I swear they are infused with positive energy. Her first product was her best-selling Chakra Shower Head, which she created to bring healing crystals into your everyday life. It features genuine crystals and mineral beads to filter fluoride. It's super easy to install, I know because I did it. Never made it as a wise man. I didn't get a towel. Not only does it look super beautiful, but proceeds from each sale of the Chakra Shower Head go towards helping restore the ocean by adopting a coral. So this is the one I have. This is a limited edition version with serpentine, rose quartz, amethyst, and aquamarine, which actually matches perfectly. Look, this is my intro. It matches perfectly. Happy Days specializes in holidays, and she has gone viral on TikTok multiple times for her Valentine's Day kit and her Easter kit. She also loves doing custom orders, and she has a form on her website that you can fill out so you can request custom candles, crystal kits, crystal grids, and more. I've had the pleasure of getting to know her over the past few months, and I can truly say that she puts so much love and care into each of her unique items, and I'm really so happy that I can have her creations in my home too. If you guys would like to support this one-woman business and get some beautiful healing items for yourself, you can use the code KINO at checkout to get 10% off your order. Thank you so much to Happy Days for sponsoring today's video. Thank you so much to you guys for listening to that, and now let's get on to the reading. So in today's pick a card, we are going to be taking an in-depth look at your life in 6 months from now. So a while ago, I made a poll on my channel asking you guys which time frame you would like to see for a general future prediction, and 6 months from now won by a landslide. So that is the time frame that we are looking at today. However, if you do like this kind of general future prediction reading and you'd like to see more in the future, whether that be in a shorter time frame or a longer term, please do let me know in the comments what you think. So today's reading is going to be kind of a similar format to the monthly predictions that I do on this channel, but with a little bit more life areas to look at and a little bit more cards. So once we get kind of the general overview message, we're going to take a look at your personality, your personal growth, your physical self, things like that. We're going to take a look at your living situation, your career, studies, hobbies, things of that nature, and then also love life and relationships. So there's going to be like 4 different areas that we look at, what they are going to be like in 6 months time. Yes, so there are 4 readings for you guys to choose from today. I'm going to show you each of the crystals one by one, and then please pick whichever one you feel drawn to the most. Number 1 is Malachite. Number 2 is Amazonite. Number 3 is Sodalite. And number 4 is orange calcite. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number ones, so if you guys chose the Malachite, this is going to be a reading all about your life in 6 months from now. So just in case you didn't see the intro, this reading is going to be pretty similar to the monthly predictions that I do on this channel, where we start with a general overview and then we take a deeper look into the specific areas of your life. So we're going to be looking at 4 different life areas today, and those are the self, the living situation, your career and or studies, and finally your love life and relationships in general. So without further ado, let's get right into it, starting with the general overview part of the reading. So the first card that we have is opposition, solar eclipse, and 11. So the first thing I want to look at is time frames or people that could be significant to you during this period. So within the next 6-month period, actually exactly the 6-month mark from now, whenever you're watching this, could be important. And the camera timer went to 111 as I said that. You also have 11 here. So maybe that's a really strong confirmation that exactly 6 months from now is going to be a significant time. Could also be that the month of November, there we go, the 11th month. The month of November is going to be important. Of course, this is a timeless reading. You could stumble upon this at any time, but if November happens to be within the 6-month window from when you're watching this, look out for that month. As far as people go, somebody who is born in November could be significant, or somebody who's born on the 11th of a month, or even possibly a life path 11. Or somebody who is your sister sign. So somebody whose sun sign is in opposition directly across from yours. So for example, if you're an Aries, that would be a Libra. If you're a Taurus, that would be a Scorpio. Could also be like your moon signs are opposing each other, but that's what I see here. So now let's get a little bit deeper into the meaning of these cards. As you guys might be able to guess, opposition is kind of a challenging aspect in astrology. Even just the word opposition itself, it doesn't sound very pleasant. But next to this, we have the solar eclipse, and this is something that happens during a new moon. I actually was just looking this up yesterday because I used this deck yesterday and I got lunar eclipse, and I was trying to explain, the logistics of it, and it was embarrassing. So the solar eclipse happens during the new moon, and that is when the moon goes between the earth and the sun. Sun, moon, earth, I think. But this happens during a new moon, which is a time of powerful change. It's a time where the slate can be wiped clean, so to speak. And because it has the energy of the sun in there, this is all about our hopes and dreams, our efforts, who we want to become, what we want to manifest. So if I put these two cards together, what I think is happening in the next six months for you guys is that anything that has been challenging you, anything that has been standing in your way, basically anything that is opposing the realization of your hopes and dreams, it's going to be powerfully wiped away in the next 6 months. And it's so cool that you guys have the number 11. This reminds me of the 11th house in astrology, which is about our hopes and dreams and our wishes being fulfilled. So that just makes this message like even stronger for me. And 11 is also a master number, very heavy signs of manifestation, of creating a new reality, of starting a new chapter in your life. So this is really, really wonderful energy to start off with. Right now, as you're watching this reading, if you can think about the things that are standing between you and your dreams, whether it's fear, whether it's a lack of resources, a lack of knowledge, a lack of connections, whatever it might be that is opposing, standing in the way, it's going to be like really powerfully wiped away. Eclipses are incredibly powerful to bring change into our lives. And I really feel this is going to be a big removal of blockages for you in the next 6 months. Okay, so I love this energy that we are starting off with. If I'm not mistaken, there's a lot of cards in this deck, so I'll admit that I haven't read through the guidebook for all of them. But if I'm not mistaken, there is a message within this one as well of having very strong psychic abilities and having a very special life purpose as well. So maybe you guys are really moving towards your calling in the next 6 months. There's just a piece of fluff in the air, sorry. All right, so this is the general energy that we're working with, which is so beautiful and inspiring. So we're gonna move on now into the specific life areas. I have 2 tarot cards and 1 oracle card, yes, for each life area. And we are going to start off with yourself. So let's take a look at yourself 6 months from now. Ooh, okay. So we're starting off with the Sovereign of Wands. In traditional tarot, this would be the Queen of Wands. The Conqueror of Swords. In traditional tarot, this would be the Knight of Swords. And for your oracle card, we have Isolation. Okay, so let's go through these in order. I do want to talk a little bit about the physical self, especially because we have the Queen of Wands here. And I always think of the Queen of Wands as someone who is smoking hot. So you guys might notice some changes in your physical appearance in the next 6 months. If you've been working on like hair care or color in your hair, growing out your hair, skin care, physical fitness, or even your wardrobe, like changing up your fashion or something like that, you guys are going to be looking really, really good 6 months from now. And I'm not saying that you don't already, but you're going to find like, wow, I feel much more beautiful in my skin. I feel much more confident. I feel much more healthy and radiant. The Queen of Wands, to me, she's literally like the sun. Like, she glows. She commands attention in whatever room she walks into. So you're really going to be confident in yourself physically and really feeling yourself in that way 6 months from now. And I also think that many people are going to be attracted to you in 6 months from now. So if there's any specific person who has caught your eye, I believe that in 6 months or maybe even sooner, you will be catching their eye as well. You'll be standing out to them, catching their attention, and you might find that a lot of people are hitting on you. Sounds so like crude, but you know, approaching you, showing an interest in you, asking you out. What you choose to do with that will be entirely up to you, but the Queen of Wands is very popular with the people. And this is not even just in a romantic way. Like, people might really want to be your friend because they think you're very cool, you inspire them, you radiate positive energy. So you're going to be very well liked and admired. Also, the Queen of Wands shows like creative talents as well. So I think you guys could really be mastering some creative talents 6 months from now, especially because we have the Knight of Swords here, which is like a quick wit or a quick mind. You're absorbing information quickly. So if I put these together, it's like you're learning a skill really, really well, or you're learning to express yourself creatively really, really well. You guys might even be finding a new passion, a new skill that you want to learn, a new talent you want to develop, and you're just absorbing everything like a sponge. You're absorbing the information. If it's like a physical thing like dancing or playing an instrument, it's like your muscles are just remembering what to do so quickly. And the word fluency is coming to my mind. I know that that's often reserved for languages, but fluent is like when you can do something smoothly without thinking too much. So any skills that you guys have been working on, have been thinking of working on, I see fluency for you 6 months from now. Meaning whatever the skill is, you can do it without like hiccuping, without having to stop and think and start over, without making too many mistakes. It just, it comes very naturally to you. So I also think that you guys will be very mentally focused with the Knight of Swords, really like on top of your game, really staying productive, not getting distracted. I think you guys are really, really investing yourself. So you've been working on your confidence and self-esteem. You've been working on your appearance and how you present yourself. You've been working on your talents. This is giving me like major self-development vibes. And I think you guys are feeling really, really good. Now, this isolation over here, this could be a couple things. One thing could be like having tunnel vision on something. You know, when you isolate something and it's like the only thing. So you guys might get really, really into a skill, a talent, a project that you're working on where like a lot of your energy is invested into it. And it's almost like you're becoming obsessed with it, but not in an unhealthy way. Just that like you're so passionate about it. The other meaning, I am thinking of social isolation. And it's interesting because normally I would read the Queen of Wands as like a super gregarious, social, outgoing kind of person. And while I do think you are going to be very attractive and charming to people, and a lot of people are going to want to spend time with you, it's like you're either, I think you'll just be valuing your alone time a lot in 6 months from now. You may not be completely isolated, but perhaps it's more that you are going to be very selective about who you hang out with, you know? Like, I'm not gonna hang out with you just so that I won't be lonely. You know, you gotta be like a high caliber person. This is kind of how, because you're a queen, right? And so you wanna be in the company of other royalty, right? Yeah, so you might be spending more time alone, especially if you're like really, really into developing this new skill or talent of yours or working on this new creative project of yours. It might just happen that way where you're so absorbed in it that you're like, wait a minute, I haven't seen people in days. But it's like you're just so, like you're in the zone, you're in the flow. So maybe being a little bit less social 6 months from now because you're working hard on something amazing, but doesn't mean that people don't want to be with you. And actually, I think you're going to be receiving a lot of invitations out places. It's up to you, but you might just feel more inclined to like, no, I'm going to stay home and work on this thing because I'm super into it. Okay, so this is how I see you guys for yourself. Another specific message, because the Knight of Swords is about speed. You may be mastering something with speed. So let's say you are a runner, or you are trying to play an instrument really quickly, or type really quickly, or speak a language quickly like a native speaker would. There's something about speed, or maybe like you're getting your work done fast because you're more productive. There's something like this. The gears in your head are turning faster. Okay, could also be that the next 6 months are gonna fly by really, really fast because you're having fun, you know? Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, so we are gonna move on now to the living situation part of the reading. So for your tarot cards, we have the Seeker of Swords. So this is the Page of Swords. Look at these cards, how they catch the light. It's so beautiful. Then we have the Six of Swords. Interesting. And for your Oracle card, we have Love. Yay! So definitely you guys are going to love and be very happy with your living situation. Now, I'm going to start off with a specific message. It might just be for a few of you, but I do want to point out that the Six of Swords can talk about moving in with someone, and we have a person here, like the Page of Swords is a person, and we have love. So you guys might be like moving in with somebody you really like, whether it's a good friend or a love interest, like you're moving in together, living together, or you are going to each other's houses a lot. Especially if this person is an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, because that's what the Page of Swords is. Yeah, it's like you're very selective about who you spend your time with, but I sense that there's some like loved one, significant other, love interest, best friend who you'll be spending a lot of time with. And then this can be moving in together, or you're just at each other's house a lot. This is how I'm seeing it. Some of you in the next 6 months, you might also be going on a solo trip somewhere, whether it's just, you know, a day trip in a nearby city, or you're actually, you know, going overseas somewhere. I get the feeling that you guys might be going somewhere by yourself, somewhere that you've always been drawn to, somewhere you've always loved to visit, or you are preparing for this, because the Page of Swords is kind of like the idea stage or the planning stage of something. The Six of Swords is the like setting off, traveling, going somewhere else. So in 6 months from now, it's either like you're going on this trip or you're planning the move, you know, somewhere has piqued your curiosity, piqued your interest, and now you're learning everything you can about this place, learning what the rent is like, learning what's in the area, learning about the language and culture if it's somewhere far away, because just like the Knight of Swords here was like you're learning and absorbing new information, I feel similar energy here with the Page of Swords, you know? He's like in the preparing stages, getting all the information he needs to know before he sets off and makes his move, which is what we see in the Six of Swords. So I do see for many of you that there could be a change in where you are living 6 months from now, or you're actively planning to make that change. And as for your day-to-day life, you are spending most of your time alone, but you may be also spending a lot of time with a significant person. Could be romantic or platonic, but I see an air sign here. Interesting. And in general, I do see a peaceful life and daily routine for you because we have the number 6 here, and this is a number about balance, peace, harmony, good health. It's also a number of love. So it's like there's really strong messages of love coming up in your living situation, being in a place that you love, feeling at peace in your environment, feeling healthy both physically and mentally, being with people you love, which includes yourself. You know, when you're alone with yourself, it actually brings you joy rather than bringing anxiety. This is like peace of mind here as well with the 6 of Swords. So this is, wow, this whole reading is like really nice energy so far. I hope I didn't jinx it, but let's move on to your career and or studies. So for your tarot cards, we have the 2 of Swords, the Ruler of Cups, this is the King of Cups, and Ideation. I think that's how it's pronounced, Ideation. Oh, so some of you guys might know, actually, I don't know, because I just started doing this recently, but if there's any repetition in letters in the oracle cards, like in first letters, I do make a note of it. So I just noticed that we have double I's here. So it could be somebody's initial, it could be the name of a place, city, country, state, organization, something like that. I'm just thinking there's no like months or anything that start with I, so probably an initial of something. Right, so when it comes to career and studies, we're starting off here with the 2 of Swords. And oh my gosh, I love the imagery on this card. So this is a card about being kind of stuck between 2 options, sort of like a fork in the road kind of energy, and you're wondering which way you should go. And the person is blindfolded on this card, as they are in traditional tarot. But I love that there's a third eye, because it just so accurately depicts what this card is about. It's like you can't see the way using your physical eyes. You have to feel it out. You have to use your intuition. So this is one of those situations where it's like, if you were to gather all of the information you could about option A versus option B, like you would still be left with more questions, because there's not really a way that you can look at it logically and say, oh, well, option A is obviously objectively better than option B, or vice versa. It's not really like that. There's pros and cons to each, and so the only way to accurately choose for you is to go by your own intuition and how you feel. So it's, this choice is like a very subjective experience. And it's really cool also that you have the Ruler of Cups next to this, because this is all about making decisions with your heart, making decisions with your intuition. So it looks like in your career journey or in your study journey, in 6 months from now, you are going to be at sort of a fork in the road, where you're either torn between 2 different fields, 2 different places, companies, schools, or like, should I stay where I am now, or should I drop it? Like, should I walk away from this? There's going to be something like that you are faced with in 6 months' time. And this King of Cups here is giving you a little bit of advice for when this happens, because you'll need to make the decision based on your emotions rather than what is like logical. And actually, there's no way to accurately make a decision here that is completely logical or makes the most sense, because like I said, like there's going to be good and bad to each situation. So it's really important that you do what feels right in your heart, and that you make the decision from love and not fear. And this is something that I was just practicing recently, but it helps to speak it out loud. So if you're asking yourself, should I stay in my current job or should I leave it? How do you voice that? Like, let's say I want to leave my job, but I'm worried that I'm not going to make money. So that's a fear-based decision, because it's the fear of lack that is driving your decision. But if it was something like, I could find another higher paying job if I leave my job, but I just love what I'm doing so much. then staying in your job is then a decision based on love. So if you like write it down or speak it out honestly, I think that can help you to identify, you know, where your heart and where your emotions truly lie, because this is a clear message that this should be your deciding factor. And I just saw this card, the King of Cups, in a reading that I filmed recently. It was the What You Don't See Coming reading. And the King of Cups, he was so calm and serene through change. Even when there was uncertainty and things were, you know, up in the air, the King of Cups was staying so calm and emotionally stable because he was so connected to his intuition and his higher self that he knew this is meant to be happening. The universe has my back. Everything is going to be okay. So another way that you guys could make your decision is to ask yourself, which one would I choose if I knew that the universe had my back all the way, 100%? And that will sort of reveal what it is that you truly want. We also have the message of ideation here. I did have to, when I got this one, I looked through the guidebook. I had to search, what does ideation mean? Because I actually didn't know. But there was a lot of talk in the guidebook about giving birth to new ideas, focusing on your creative projects, really like nurturing your projects. So that might be another hint that helps you make this decision here. And we even had the Queen of Wands earlier, which was really big on you guys, like developing your creative skills, working on a project that you're passionate about. So that could be a little bit of advice for how you can go about this this fork in the road. But usually with the Two of Swords, it's kind of like a one or the other situation. If it was like the Two of Pentacles, for example, then maybe there's the possibility for you to juggle both at the same time. But usually I feel with the Two of Swords, it's like you do have to go all in or all out with one or another. So it can be a scary concept to choose, but the King of Cups stays so calm when he's connected to his intuition, because he's like, I know this is going to bring me to where I want to go. I know that my higher self will never lead me astray. So have faith in your emotions, like trust that your emotions are going to guide you the right way. If you want to like vocalize your reasoning for staying or going, that might help to reveal where your heart lies. And then also, what would I do if I knew that the universe had my back 100%? That's the advice that I can give you for this fork in the road. So let's look now at the final life area, which is love life or relationships in general. So we have the Ace of Swords, the Sovereign of Cups, so this is the Queen of Cups, and Rest. Okay, so, all right, I'm gonna start here with, where should I start? The Rest card is really giving me a feeling of peace. Like something is being put to rest so that you don't have to worry about it, so that you're not anxious about it anymore. What I see with these two tarot cards together is like a direct conversation with a loved one in your life that allows you to open up and be vulnerable with each other. This Sovereign of Cups or Queen of Cups is really interesting to me because usually we see the Queen of Cups with her chalice with the lid on it. Like the cup has a lid on it, it's closed. She's not letting people in to see it. But here we see that the oyster is opening up. We can see the treasure that lies within, and it's been perfected. Ooh, and yes, okay, so you know how pearls start off as sand? I hope that that's correct. Pearls start off as sand, and sand is very like rough and gritty, right? But over time within the oyster, it gets polished and eroded and you know, everything like such as, and then it becomes this beautiful, pristine pearl. And so this is like somebody who has been ruminating on their emotions for a very long time. They used to be kind of rough or crude, or they didn't know how to express them, but they've been thinking about their emotions for a really, really long time, that it's become smooth and shiny, and it's become this beautiful pearl that is now perfect and ready to be expressed. So when this oyster opens up, It's somebody opening up emotionally, exposing the pearl that they've been working on for so long. And then the Ace of Swords represents direct communication and a new beginning. So there is some relationship that is going to deepen, that is going to experience a new beginning. And you or the other party, or maybe both of you, have been thinking about this for a long time. I actually kind of more get the vibe that someone is coming towards you. And they've been sort of sorting through their emotions regarding this relationship for a long time, polishing it off like this pearl. And now this oyster is finally ready to open and to present the pearl to you. You know, like I've really thought it through and I understand how I feel now. I understand, you know, the reason for my feelings, the reason for my actions, and I feel confident in it now. Like I'm ready to show you how I truly feel. And I often see that with the Ace of Swords, like in love and relationships too. Like someone's coming forward and confessing or opening up or telling you directly how they feel. So this is a really lovely opportunity for heart to hearts, for honest conversation, for air being cleared. So like there's no more confusion when it comes to people's motives, intentions, feelings. The Ace of Swords is like everything's pierced through because the sword represents truth. And we usually in traditional tarot would see this sword like piercing through a cloudy sky, which is like piercing through the confusion, the uncertainty. So I think you're going to get some clarity about an important connection within 6 months' time. The communication channels are going to be like busted open for you guys so that you can talk about everything openly. And then I think this rest is like, you know, this period of unease, of confusion can be put to rest. And now you can be at peace with this person. Could be romantic. It could also be like a friendship or even a family relationship, but something has been brewing within this person's heart and they want to open up and clear the air. And then, you know, where you choose to take it from there on out, it will of course be up to you. But I do really feel that this person has good and pure intentions. I feel that this person is going to be very honest with you when they come forward. They're not going to hide anything or twist anything because the Ace of Swords is very direct and you will know what to do. The same way the Ruler of Cups or the King of Cups encouraged you to follow your heart and your emotions on this one, same way the Queen of Cups is encouraging you to do so. Okay, so just before we finish off the reading, you guessed it, it's my trusty tea leaf cards. So let's take a few and see what else you guys need to know about your life in 6 months from now. So we have a month of the year, month of October. So that could be an important month if it's within the 6 month period that you guys are watching this, or somebody born in October could be important. It could be as well like something that started in October is coming to fruition within the next 6 months. Like someone you met in October or some project you started in October. We have an astral house. Ooh, that's love. So definitely some advancement in your love life. Maybe this person we saw here in the relationship portion of the reading is a love interest. Oh, okay, so we got 3 more that flipped over. We have kite, vacation. Yes, so I really do, I don't know, I got the feeling of like a solo trip. You guys are going on vacation by yourself. Then we have vase, secret admirer. So that matches really, really well with your Queen of Wands energy. I would even slap an S on there, secret admirers, because people are just going to be like, well, not all over you because you can definitely distance yourself if you want to, but people are really going to want a piece of your beautiful sunshiny energy. And then we have parrot. Someone will gossip about all your secrets. So just be careful who you tell your stuff to. This is definitely something you can avoid if you keep to yourself and if you're selective about who you spend time with, and about who you share like your closest secrets with, especially because you guys, it looks like you're working on an amazing project, and you're about to enter into a really important chapter of your life where like your dreams are starting to unfold. So just make sure that you don't tell people before it's too soon. Like if you have a project in the works, maybe like keep it to yourself until it's finalized and nothing and nobody can mess with it. Because you just never know. Parrots like to chat, believe me, my stepmom has one. Okay, so yes, these are all the messages that I have for you guys, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number 2s, so if you guys chose the Amazonite, this is going to be a reading all about your life in 6 months from now. So just in case you didn't see the intro, this reading is going to be pretty similar to the monthly predictions that I do, where we get a general overview first and then we move on to take a deeper look at specific areas of your life. And today we're going to be taking a look at 4 life areas, which are the self, your living situation, your career and or studies, and finally your love life and relationships in general. So without further ado, let's get right into it, starting with the general overview part of the reading. So the first card that we have is Water, Virgo, and Chiron. Okay, so first I want to take a look at any important time frames or even significant people within the next 6 months. So we do have Virgo season here. So of course this is a timeless reading. You could stumble upon this at any time, but if Virgo season does happen to be within the 6-month period from now, this could be an important time for you, as well as any water season. So Scorpio season, Cancer season, or Pisces season. Alternatively, this could also be indicating the zodiac signs of people who will be significant. So there could be an important Virgo, Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer in your life in the next 6 months, including yourself. You could be those signs as well. But if we look deeper into the meaning of these cards, water talks all about our emotions as well as our intuition and spiritual abilities. So I do sense from this card that you'll be going through a lot of emotional and spiritual growth in the next 6 months. I'm particularly being drawn to the fact that this water is like clear and calm. So I'm sensing a lot of emotional peace coming for you. Now, when we move over to this Virgo card, you see this person here, how we can see all of like his veins, and it's making me think of like the nervous system or something like that, because I think that nerves look like this as well. And I feel like you guys may be carrying a lot of anxiety in your body, and what we're working on in the next 6 months is calming those emotions and restoring peace. And I'm being shown with this Virgo energy that your analytical nature is going to help you guys out a lot here. I think you guys are very rational. I think you're good at analyzing and problem solving and making sense of things. And I think the conclusion or the realization that you guys might be coming to in the next 6 months is that the sensitive emotional side of you and the logical rational side of you don't have to be mutually exclusive or go against each other. In fact, they can very much help each other out. So when you are feeling anxious, when you're feeling particularly sensitive or sad or emotionally overwhelmed, you can sit with yourself and work through it. I think that Virgos are very good at doing this. I have had a lot of like Virgo suns and Virgo moons in my life, and they really help me to like break down the way I'm feeling and make sense of it. And not in a way where they're saying like, it's not logical for you to feel like that, but validating the emotion and helping me get to the bottom of it. This is the experience that I've had with Virgo energy, and I feel like you guys are doing this for yourself in the next 6 months. And it's so interesting because this person is about to walk through a doorway into the clear blue sky. So it's like you guys are about to see the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to your anxiety, your sadness, your sensitivities, because you're like discovering the root of it. I think sometimes, and this was me for a long time, I would just say like, oh, I'm just an anxious person, you know, it's just something I live with. But when I really allow myself to sit with that anxiety rather than trying to stop it or trying to shut it up all the time and just let myself be anxious and like, it sounds weird, but talk to my anxiety and figure out what it's trying to tell me, I realized that it had to do with wounds from my past. And so this is where Chiron comes in. You guys might have heard of Chiron as the wounded healer, but this is a card that represents past trauma. It can also represent a karmic wound, so wounds that could even stem from past lives that we are carrying with us now. And I was just watching Kim, I don't know how to pronounce I think it's Esthete. Anyway, my friend Kim's video because we collaborated together a while ago and I was watching her reading and she was talking about how our trauma is stored in the nervous system. And even if we don't consciously remember where the trauma is coming from, and even though there's no actual immediate threat in our surroundings, our nervous system holds onto that trauma and it's almost like we keep reliving the emotions. And so this is you guys like going within, figuring out where it comes from and reassuring yourself that you are safe now. You can see there's this person huddled down here in the darkness. This may be the past you, your inner child, your soul carrying painful memories from your past life. And I feel like you're opening all of that up in the next 6 months. This is reminding me of dreaming or astral projection, this image. So you guys might get a lot of insights about what has been, I was going to say haunting, what has been haunting you emotionally through dreams, especially like lucid or very vivid dreams, because water also talks about your psychic abilities heightening. I think if you ask your higher self and ask your spirit guides and guardian angels to help you with this process, they will gladly come to your aid through dreams. So we're finding the root of our negative emotions, the root of our anxieties. And it's almost like being there to nurture yourself, because there is a very nurturing and almost motherly sort of energy to the Virgo archetype. And this is how you guys are treating yourself or your inner child, with this nurturing, kind, and compassionate energy. And there's going to be a lot of emotional healing and a lot of self-awareness that takes place here and is going to result in greater peace of mind. Okay, so this is what I see so far for your general overview. So we are going to move on now to the specific life areas. I have two tarot cards and one oracle card each. And so we're going to start off with the self. So we're going to take a look at yourself in 6 months' time. First, we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Conqueror of Cups, and this is the Knight of Cups. And for your oracle card, we have Sadness. So I can actually see some link between what we are seeing here with the self and your general overview, which makes a lot of sense because all of the events that are transpiring here, it's very personal, it's things that are going on within. And I do feel that you guys are releasing a lot of sadness, heavy energy, and past trauma within the next 6 months so that you can come out, see the light at the end of the tunnel, see the peaceful seas. Now, the beginning of this 6-month period may be difficult, if I'm being honest. Obviously, sadness is not the best emotion to come out, but what it looks like here with this Wheel of Fortune, because this is about things that are sort of unpredictable or unexpected, and I feel like in this journey that you guys are embarking on within, you might uncover that there is something that is still making you sad from a long time ago, maybe like a wound that you never fully healed, some grief that you never really processed, or even some anger towards somebody that you never really processed. And it might surprise you when it pops back up. Like, wow, that has still been lingering with me, that's still been upsetting me, or like, you know, this anxiety that I've been feeling this whole time is actually linked to that past event, and you never would have thought that. It's like you thought you were past that or you were over it, but it's still been there. So I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is maybe showing, you know, some unexpected event that would trigger that or bring that wound back up, and then you will be dealing with it, because the Knight of Cups is a very emotional being as well. It's more water energy. I do see some, you know, sadness and intense emotions being processed here. But through this process, what I see in terms of your growth and a strength that you guys are developing is that you are open and accepting of all of your emotions. You're developing a great sense of compassion for yourself and gentleness for yourself. This Knight of Cups is a very nurturing and loving sort of entity. And again, I feel like this is what you are becoming for yourself. So I see a lot of self-love and self-compassion here, and you're telling yourself that it's okay to be sad. You're not going to hide or repress your sadness anymore. You're like setting your emotions free. With this Virgo energy here, I wonder if you guys have had to, you know, keep a brave face to, you know, maintain your responsibilities, or you have to be the one who's like holding it all together and solving everybody else's problems. And there's no time for you. Like, what about my struggles? What about my sadness? And so I see you guys claiming that energy back for yourself. Like, I'm not going to overextend myself for everybody anymore and repress what's going on with me. I'm going to take time out and sit with myself and deal with my own emotions. And it's okay for me to rest. It's okay for me to be sensitive. It's okay for me to be sad. And this is going to help with self-love, but it's also going to help in your relationships with other people. Because if we feel it's not okay to be sad, like sadness is a bad emotion, it's shameful, it should be hidden, or whatever it is, it can lead to like shutting down around people we care about when we're sad, because we're like, I can't show my sadness, so I guess I just have to shut that off. It can lead to shutting down, giving the cold shoulder. It can lead to passive aggression, because that feeling of upset wants to get out in some way or another. And when it can't be expressed directly, it can lead to this kind of passive or indirect aggression. It can fester and turn into anger and resentment. But when you're just open about it and you say to the person, I'm sad and this is why I'm upset, and you're giving that sadness power and validity, you can process it properly. And so this healing that you're going through, it's allowing you to be more open, first of all, with yourself, more open about, you know, the root of your emotions and the nature of your emotions. And it's going to allow you to convey them better to people in your life. And I know we're going to get to the relationships part of the reading later, but I feel that your personal relationships are really going to be improving, especially the way that you emotionally connect to people in the next 6 months. And it's like all of this compassion that you've given to other people, to like hear out their problems, listen to them venting, and, you know, analyze and solve their stuff, you're gonna give that kindness and support back to yourself. So you're becoming like your best friend, you're becoming your greatest supporter. You're going to be there for yourself no matter what. So there's no more of this like, oh no, I'm anxious, let's shut that off because I got to go do this work and this anxiety is in my way. You're like, oh, some anxiety is here. You sit with it, you listen to it. So you're getting back in touch with your heart. I'm getting major like inner peace and serenity vibes from this, which is, it's really nice to see. It is going to be hard at the beginning, I think, because, you know, some emotional floodgates could be opened. I think also your third eye is going to be opened with this indigo color. You might get some insight into past lives and things that have been carried over from there. So, you know, anybody who's gone through a period of healing or energetic purging, this kind of detox, could attest to the fact that it's not easy, it's not pretty, but it's so worth it. You feel so cleansed and like a huge weight is lifted by the end of it. Okay, so this is what I see for the self, and we're going to move on now to your living situation. So for your tarot cards, we have the 6 of Coins the High Sage. So this is the High Priestess. Wow, there's a lot of, oh look, happiness. I love that. I love that transition. There's a lot of water energy in this reading. Of course, we have water here. The Conqueror of Cups is water. The High Sage or the High Priestess is water. And it's funny because for the longest time, I thought that the High Priestess was Virgo, which I don't think it is, but she just gave me Virgo vibes. And then we have Virgo here. I think it's because the High Sage is like, she's always right, and Virgos are also always right. Okay, so taking a look into your living situation, we do have the 6 of coins. Pile 1 got a 6 as well, which is awesome because this is a number of balance, harmony, peace, routine, health, like if you think of the 6th house in astrology. And coins are practical and stable and organized. So this is giving me super like healthy routine vibes from you guys. You have a good sleeping schedule, you have a good eating schedule, you have a good balance between your work and your alone time and your social life and your hobbies. You feel at peace like we've been talking about throughout this reading. I see your house becoming very organized, like everything is in its right place. I'm getting like fresh air. So I don't know if you guys are gonna like, you know, air out your house, like open up the windows and air out your house. You guys even might want to do a cleansing of your house with sage. You can burn sage and bring it around every corner of your space. If you don't have sage, you can also make full moon water. Just put some water outside on the night of the full moon. Some people say it's best to harvest it before the sun comes up, but if you have trouble waking up before then, don't worry about it. You can get it in the morning and spray the full moon water around the corners of your house. This is also going to banish negative energy. Your space is being cleansed and you're being cleansed from within. And I see you, yes, in a very organized and healthy routine. With the High Sage as well, you guys might get very much into your spiritual practices. This person or being here looks like they are meditating, so you might get into some meditative practices and even dedicate a space in your house to that. Some of you guys might be creating an altar in your house as well to honor your spirit guides, or just accumulating more like spiritual or healing things in your home, such as crystals or candles or incense or essential oils or anything that makes you feel calm and at peace so that you can connect to your higher self better. With this High Priestess, I kind of see your house getting a more like spiritual or even witchy vibe. You might have some very pretty lights, like fairy lights in your house or something like that. Or you might get a tapestry. You know, I've seen a lot of tapestries of like the zodiac wheel, and I just love that. There might be some kind of spiritual or occult type decorations coming into your home that make you feel more like at home, that make you feel more at home and at peace. And happiness is pretty self-explanatory, that you guys will be very happy in your living situation. This orange color is related to the sacral chakra. So you guys might be feeling very creative in this new space. Like when there's not so much clutter and, you know, with the fresh air and the nice scents in your home, it's like your senses are being stimulated in a gentle way, not like in a frazzled way. So you can focus on your work or you can focus on creating. And, either you guys are living alone or you're living with people you get along with very, very well, because this is like full of peace and quiet, okay? So for those of you who have maybe kind of a chaotic or frustrating living situation right now, I do see that peace is being restored. If you live with people, you're going to be getting along with them very well in 6 months' time. Like there's going to be harmony between you guys. This is also about like fairness and reciprocity. So you know, sharing in the chores, taking turns with the housework, or like paying everything half and half, like that's going to be very fair. So there will be harmony between you and the people you live with. There's also a message about your career coming up here. I feel like your financial situation is going to be improving, because the 6 of Pentacles can indicate that you're getting more money or more recognition at work. And same thing with the High Priestess. Like I always feel she's showing like your standard is being raised, people are starting to notice and respect you, and you're moving up as a result. So a step up in your work or financial situation could be positively affecting your living situation. Whether it's like you want to redecorate, or something is broken in your house, like an appliance is broken and you can finally fix it with the money that you have. Or maybe some of you are looking into like moving to a new place, moving out on your own or something like that. Your financial situation will be allowing for anything that you have felt is lacking in your home life or your living situation. There is a specific message for some of you if you're planning to move, and especially if you're planning to have a roommate, that you could end up living with a soulmate, like somebody from a past life. It could be romantic or platonic, but both of these cards make me think of like counterparts, souls who are familiar with each other. And so there's like, I'm being shown somebody's like moving and looking for a roommate, and then the roommate is their soulmate or soul family member. That might not resonate with everybody, but I just thought I would mention it. But in any case, and I love this happiness to come out after the sadness, just to let you guys know that everything is going to be okay. There's always going to be like a rainbow after the rain, and you'll really be feeling at peace with where you are. Okay, so for the next life area, we're going to take a look at your career and or studies. So we have, the Chariot. And I was just saying, in the living situation part of this reading, I really felt that you guys were advancing in your career, and this is like huge confirmation of that. Even more water energy here because this is Cancer. And the Hierophant. So this is Taurus energy. Looks like we have a lot. Yes, all of the cards so far, it's like either water energy or earth energy. Interesting. And then for your oracle card, Flow. Amazing. Amazing. And it's actually very similar vibe to the water card, this like peaceful seas. Okay, so this is amazing because when we're talking about your career and studies, I feel like flow is a very great word because it means that you're in the flow of things, you're in the zone, you are focused, you're on top of your game. Some of you guys are going to be finding like a workflow that works really well for you, or like a study flow that works really well for you, figuring out how to organize your tasks, figuring out how to take your notes, how to remember things, how to be more productive. There's really like an overlying theme of you guys getting to know yourselves very well in the next 6 months and realizing that you're worth tailoring things in your life so that you feel more comfortable and at peace. I think gone are the days of you guys sacrificing and bending over backwards to accommodate everybody else for no reason. Like it should be so simple and so natural that you live a life that is comfortable to you. Like you deserve that. You deserve to do that. So yes, you guys are very much in your flow, in your work flow, in your study flow. You're getting stuff done. Still, I feel you guys at peace. Let's talk about this Amazonite actually that you guys were drawn to, because this is a very similar color. This turquoisey color, it can deal with the heart and or the throat chakra. And Amazonite, I think it's called the manifestation stone, or some people call it that. And it helps us to speak things into existence because we are speaking from our heart. We're speaking from a place of love and manifesting the things that we want. So when it comes to your career or study goals, and you can start this like as soon as you're watching this reading, try the practice of speaking things out loud. And if you have Amazonite or any like greeny blue stone, even better. You can hold it in your hand, hold it to your heart. I've even seen people like hold the stone up against their neck so that they, against their throat, so that they can speak with more conviction and clarity and confidence. Speak out loud your goals that you want to achieve. I think that's going to be very helpful because there's something about like hearing it out loud and speaking it that I think is really powerful. Like, I've seen this to be true for myself. If there's something that's bothering me, it's really, really helpful if I say it, because like talking it out and hearing myself talk, it helps me to make sense of it. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. But yes, this is a manifestation stone, and this flow really reminds me of it. It's like you guys are getting in the flow of, you know, like when you ride the wave of the universe, like you're surfing and you get on her wave and she takes you to where you want to go. Or like the turtles in Finding Nemo, how they like, whoo, they get into the current and they just go. This is what I feel is happening for you guys in your career and studies, because the Chariot is like making huge progress and quite quickly as well. You know, it's like, yeehaw, it's time to go. Woo! And you're off. So huge goals are being achieved in your career or studies. This can talk about like a victory. This can talk about receiving recognition for what you're doing. So you're going to be feeling very good about yourself, of course, but you're also getting like applause and praise and compliments from other people. Some of you guys are receiving some kind of award or honor. You know, like when you graduate with honors or you get like a special award, it's like I'm seeing like a graduation, and it could be like a literal school graduation, or more figuratively, like you're hitting a milestone and moving up, and you're getting some sort of award for your accomplishments in the previous chapter because you did like an exceptional job. So people are like celebrating your successes and then celebrating the fact that you're moving into this next chapter, if that makes sense. You're being celebrated in some way with this Chariot card. So moving up, achieving your goals. We also have the Hierophant here. So a lot of you guys are moving into, if you're not already, you're moving into a position of authority. The Hierophant is this being who has the answers, who has the wisdom, who has the knowledge, and people are coming to the Hierophant for answers to see what they should do. So you guys might be teaching other people, you might be counseling other people, or you might be organizing or managing a team. I feel like there are people who are going to be answering to you, who are going to be working for you and taking your guidance, and you're sort of like that authority figure. And you have some knowledge that others don't have. If you guys are in the process of studying anything right now, keep going. If you're studying for any kind of certification, any kind of license, if you're studying for, I guess, even like a degree, the knowledge that you accumulate here is going to make you a person with a lot of authority, and it's going to help you to go into a leadership position. And what's really cool with these cards is that I feel like the Hierophant relies a lot on like the books, you know, like studying what has been written down and following the pre-established rules. And the Chariot goes more with their gut and their intuition. And you guys have a really nice balance of both, you know? So if you were a tarot reader, for example, it's like, you know what the traditional meaning of every card is, but you don't rely completely on that, you know? You have your own gut feelings and your own intuitive interpretation that makes you stand out from the rest. And so you have this really nice, even like a musician, you know? There's a musician who plays the piece exactly by the book and follows it to a T, and then there's a musician who feels the energy of the piece, and they let the piece move them and they put their emotions in it. And so you got both, you got it all, and this is what makes you really, really special. So I do see you being encouraged to keep studying and accumulate as much knowledge as you can, but don't discredit your intuition. And you can break the rules sometimes. You can do things unconventionally sometimes. And I think it's your breaking the rules and going outside the box that is going to catapult you to the top in your field. Okay, so now finally we are going to look at your love life and relationships in general. So for your tarot cards, we have the 5 of coins. So this would be the 5 of pentacles. Strength. So this is Leo energy. And for your oracle card, we have growth. Okay, so starting with the 5 of coins, this is a card that indicates lack or loss. And when it comes to relationships, it can indicate like missing someone, losing someone, or just feeling lonely in general. I'm wondering if for some of you, this Five of Coins has to do with the sadness that you feel here, because we saw earlier in the reading, like, there's something from the past that you guys are grieving or processing. Maybe it had to do with a significant relationship in your life. But with this strength and growth here, I definitely see you guys coming out on the other side of this loss stronger, more wise, and really ready for better days to come in your relationships. There is a message for those of you who like have recently had a breakup or a separation or something like that. And I'm not sure like if you guys are wanting the person to come back or not, but there's a message that you will get over this person and move on from them, the person that you're in separation with. I'm feeling for most of you there will not be a reunion. And for many, that's like your choice, because you know, you're moving past this and you're saying like, I deserve something better than this. I want to be happy. And you're going to close the chapter. Now, if you really, really, really want a reunion, I think it can still happen because nothing is so set in stone. But strength generally does tell us like you have to be patient. You have to keep hanging in there. So if you're like dead set on having a reunion with somebody, I would say that maybe it just wouldn't happen within the 6 months, and like you would have to be patient for a little bit longer. But again, for most of you, I do see you empowering yourself and choosing to close this chapter, to heal from whatever happened and move on to greener grass, move on to greener fields. With this strength card, now this is just my own little personal interpretation of it, but I often see strength as a best friend, and especially a best friend that you have a soul connection with. So it could be an existing best friend in your life that you're becoming very, very close with in the next 6 months and uncovering more about your soul connection, or this could be somebody new who is entering your life. For whatever like sadness or loss you're going through with regards to a relationship, I do see a compassionate and empowering and encouraging friend right by your side who's gonna, you know, pull you through whatever is going on. And I would say the next 6 months are going to be great for friendships, for family relationships, work as well, and anybody you're living with, whether it's like a family member or a roommate. I do see you developing very, very close relationships and growing your relationships. But when it comes to romance, I'm not seeing that much indication of like new romantic relationships emerging or like any reunions. If you're already in a relationship, I do think that will continue to grow stronger. But as far as like new unions or reunions, I just feel like this period is more about your own personal growth. Like you're just starting to become really close with your emotional body, starting to become compassionate with yourself. You're healing a lot. You're finding your peace. You're finding your flow. You're focused on your career. And it's like, it's just a lot right now. And I feel like for those of you who are wishing for something new or renewed in your love life, I would just say to give it a little bit more time with this strength card, because you're still growing and becoming stronger as an individual. Okay, so just before we finish off the reading, I'm going to take some tea leaf fortune cards and we'll see if there's anything else you guys need to know about your life in 6 months from now. Okay, so we have Turkey. Someone is behaving stupidly. Immediately, I'm going back to this 5 of coins. For those of you who have had a separation or are wishing for somebody to come back, I feel like the way they were behaving towards you or the way that they treated you when you guys were involved with each other, like it was completely out of line. Some of you guys have been very forgiving and compassionate towards this person. And this could sound very harsh, but like when they didn't really deserve it, not because we shouldn't be compassionate towards people, but I feel like you know, they wouldn't do the same for you, or they were behaving selfishly, and so you were the one sacrificing, you were the one draining yourself, and it's not sustainable, it's not good for you, it's not fair to you. So maybe I don't have to tell you this, but please don't make excuses for this person. They have growing to do, and they were in the wrong. Like, for those of you who had a separation, it was the other person who was definitely more so in the wrong. And I hate to say this because it sounds harsh, but I often see the Five of Pentacles as like, you are too good for somebody. We have Horseshoe. Good luck. Good luck coming to you in 6 months' time. And Pin, new job, career. So you might be entering into a new job or moving up to a new position in your job. Awesome. So maybe this good luck is referring to your career. All right. So these are all of the messages that I have for you guys, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very much for letting me do this reading. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a-cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number threes. So if you guys chose the Sodalite, this is going to be a reading all about your life in 6 months from now. So just in case you didn't see the intro, this reading is going to be pretty similar to the monthly predictions that I do on this channel, where we start with a general overview and then we get a deeper look into specific areas of your life. So today we are going to be looking at 4 life areas, and those are the self, your living situation, your career and or studies, and finally your love life and relationships in general. So without further ado, let's get right into it, and we are going to start with the general overview. So our first card is Trine, then Scorpio, and Uranus. So the very first thing that I want to look at is time frames or people that could be significant in this next 6-month period. So with Trine, this could be indicating that the 4-month mark from now, whenever you're watching this video, is going to be a significant time to look out for. And then of course, this is a timeless reading, so you could be watching this video at any time, but if Scorpio season or Aquarius season do happen to be within the 6-month period from when you're watching this video, keep your eyes open during those timeframes as well, because something important could be happening. Additionally, this could be showing people who would be significant, so Scorpio or an Aquarius, or people who are the same element as you. So if you're a fire sign, other fire signs. If you're an air sign, other air signs. You get the picture. So now let's take a further look into the meanings of these cards. We're starting off with Trine, which is a wonderful energy. This is one of the aspects in astrology that is easier, or you could say more favorable, because it shows that the energy flowing here is harmonious, it's compatible with each other. And so what we're looking at in your life is a period where things are progressing very smoothly with little to no resistance or obstacles, and you'll be feeling in general good about the direction you are going in. And the planets that happen to be here are Saturn and Neptune, which I think is kind of cool. And I want to talk about that because Saturn talks about our hard work, our discipline, our patience, our responsibility, and our practicality. And then Neptune talks about like our wildest, lofty dreams and our fantasies, you know, our big dreams like that. So I'm not sure if this was like supposed to be part of the meaning of this card, but the fact that it's Saturn and Neptune together, I just really felt like bringing that up, because if there's, you know, harmonious and compatible energies flowing between these two bodies, then this would mean that the hard work that you put in towards your dreams right now is going to pay off, and that you will be finding practical ways to take action and to make solid plans towards your dreams. So it's like your efforts and your discipline and then like your wild, crazy dreams are working together. I hope that I explained that well. I just thought it was a really, really nice thing to have in your reading. So now let's move on to Scorpio and Uranus. There is potential for huge transformation in the next 6 months because Scorpio is an energy that deals a lot with transformation and reinventing yourself. One of the symbols of Scorpio is actually the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's ruled by Pluto, which is a deeply transformative entity. And then Uranus is like sudden, unexpected, or I would even say like erratic change. And I think that this is actually a very good energy to have here because it sort of means that we can completely recreate the narrative and we don't necessarily have to build off of things that have happened in the past. You know, Uranus is very bold and likes to shock people with his like complete reinventions, complete changing. So you guys might be kind of reinventing yourself or presenting yourself in a different way to people. This could be a time of career changes. This could be a time of appearance changes. This could be a time of changing your beliefs and your philosophies and your spiritual practices, changing the people you hang around with. It's like this energy is like so favorable for making massive changes, even if they seem like strange or unrealistic. So really go for your wildest dreams, like go big during this next 6 months. Even go for those dreams that you think seem crazy, because the energies here are really proving that magic is possible. Like the impossible is becoming possible during this time. You also might find with this Scorpio energy that you're getting very into like the occult, the more hidden side of life, getting into your spirituality. You might be getting into witchcraft and things like that, things that are not really the norm or that are talked about on an everyday basis. You could also be getting acquainted with your shadow side. And not necessarily to heal it or to banish it, but actually to embrace it. This might be a period where you realize things that you once thought were your weaknesses are actually your greatest strengths. And you may be getting very acquainted with your unconscious mind as well, like discovering the workings of your subconscious mind, as well as just being interested in human psychology and the way people work in general. Now, this Uranus energy is really cool. So Uranus is said to be like the, what do they say? Like the higher octave of Mercury. So it's like Mercury, but stronger or more powerful. So I'm even thinking of this as like claircognizant psychic abilities that could be popping up for you in the next 6 months. What is specifically coming to me is that you guys might have an ability of reading people's thoughts and predicting people's actions, because Scorpio is very, very good at reading other people and understanding how they work. And then when you combine it with this powerful, what would you call it? Like Mercury's powerful cousin energy of Uranus, it's like your mind is going to be on some next level. So you know what people are thinking, you know what they're going to do. You might know what is going to happen in the future without any physical proof, or even just know what's going on in the present moment without physical proof. Yes, like claircognizance. Maybe I don't need to explain to you guys. But wow, so psychic abilities are heightening, huge potential for transformation, and things are flowing very, very well in the 3D. Like when you put your mind to something and you take action towards it, you can be sure that everything will be carried out smoothly. So you're just going to be like cruising through the next 6 months, I think. Wow. All right, so now let's take a look at the specific areas of your life. So we have 2 tarot cards and 1 oracle card each for the 4 life areas. And so we're going to start off with the self. So we'll see in what ways you will change and develop 6 months from now. So for your tarot cards, we have the 5 of Swords, the Four of Wands, and anxiety. Interesting. Okay, so I am sensing a little bit of inner conflict here, or a little bit of fear. I do want to talk about the Four of Wands, and I love that it has a wishbone on it in this card, because this is a card that talks about your wishes being fulfilled. In general, it's a card that shows great joy, great contentment. It can show manifestation and your dreams coming true. So I think it matches really well with the energy that we have here. Now, with this anxiety, and those of you who regularly struggle with anxiety, you will know what I'm talking about. You know when things are going so well and there's nothing to be anxious about, and then that in itself makes you anxious because you're like, there must be something I'm not seeing, there must be something I'm forgetting, or like it's only a matter of time until things hit the fan again. And so the fact that you're so happy and peaceful is actually making you anxious. Let me know if you guys know what I'm talking about, because I'm sure I'm not alone with this. But it's like things are going so well for you. Things are finally starting to move in a new direction. But I feel like some of you, it's like your mind is kind of getting in the way of allowing you to enjoy the blessings that are coming, or enjoy the fact that you can see a promising future for yourself. And it's something like worrying that everything is going to go wrong, like this is too good to be true, that kind of feeling, or feeling like you are inevitably going to mess things up, worried that you're going to lose what you gained. With the Five of Swords, there could also be some concern about other people's opinions. Now, I'm not necessarily sure that people are going to be directly opposing the dreams that you're pursuing, like directly telling you that it's crazy or it's different or whatever, but you just might be conscious about it, because if you're going through a huge change here and you're presenting completely differently, you're pursuing something completely different, you might just be conscious of like, oh, are people thinking that I'm going through some crisis? Are people thinking that this is not the real me? Like, what are they thinking about this? And I think that's just part of being human, right? We're aware of the eyes on us, and we're aware of the possible thoughts. And you might feel it from some people, even if they're not saying it, because you do have that sort of claircognizant gift coming to you. And so that might just kind of get in your head a little bit. And like, you know, it's best to just focus on your own joy and keep doing what you love. But you know, the opinions of smaller minded people could kind of be getting to you during this time. And then that kind of compounds the anxiety, because if things don't go well with this new endeavor, then that would just be proving those kinds of people right. I'm feeling it's like the opinions of kind of skeptical or cynical people that could be getting to you. You know, like things like this usually don't work out. Most people fail when they pursue this kind of dream, or, you know, these people must think they're so special if they're pursuing something like this. I feel like you guys are going for something really, really big, like some kind of self-employment, or like a spiritual or artistic career, your own business. Some of you may even be trying to like reach a celebrity status or a public figure status, or you have a business idea that is not really normal yet because Uranus is kind of like a visionary, futuristic, looking to advance society. Uranus doesn't follow the status quo and do what everybody else is doing. So while it's going very, very well for you and you love what you're doing, there's like that lingering anxiety, I feel. Like, what are people thinking? And what if this goes wrong? Again, it's completely normal and it's completely valid, but I think it just shows that you're doing something that is very worthwhile. Because if you were completely comfortable with what you're doing, that's like you're staying in your comfort zone. You would be playing it safe. You wouldn't be doing anything like groundbreaking or worth writing home about. I think that's the expression. And I feel like you guys are really here to change the game, to change the industry that you're in. I was going to even say to change history. Some of you guys are really making it big, and with that comes the discomfort. That's just very natural. And bravery is not the lack of these anxious feelings, but bravery is pursuing your dreams despite these anxious feelings. So I think this is kind of a realistic reading that we're seeing here, where it's like you're doing an amazing job, but sometimes your mind just gets to you. And isn't that what she does best? Getting to us and tricking us and scaring us. So yeah, I think mentally things might be a little bit tough. It might be tough for you to truly like get grounded and appreciate what's happening, because your mind is like, oh, but what if it goes wrong? So it sounds very cliche, but all I can say is like, try your best to stay grateful. Try your best to stay peaceful and hopeful. And I'm confident to tell you guys that these blessings you are coming across, they are here to stay. I want to mention all of the planets, like you have Uranus, Neptune, Saturn. These are slow moving planets. So when they bring change into your life, they are bringing long-term changes. So I'm very confident to say your wish is coming true and it's here to stay. And I think over time you will see that. It just might be hard at the beginning for your brain to catch up and realize like, oh wait, things are going well. I don't have to worry. Some of you guys may also be having a little bit of imposter syndrome, where maybe you feel like, oh, I'm tricking people into praising me or into thinking I'm amazing. And that's something that will go away with time as well, because you guys really are worth it. You guys really are all that. You really are amazing. Like, this is your destiny with the Four of Wands here. You're pursuing your destiny, and you'll realize soon enough that you are the real deal, okay? So just be patient with yourself during this time. That's all I can say, because I think this anxiety is like a habit, and it's based on what you've learned from the past, what you've seen from the past, and Uranus is here to change all of that. And eventually you're going to start assuming that things are going to go well. You're going to start assuming that you are meant for these blessings, that you're worthy of them. So just patience with yourself. That's really all I can say. It's very practical, this reading. So now we are going to look at your living situation. So for your tarot cards, we have the Devil and the Eight of Wands. And for your Oracle card, we have Magic. Cool. So I think I was saying something at the beginning of the reading, like you guys are going to be realizing that magic is possible and that things can change for the better at any given moment. So there's some positive change coming to your living situation here. And it's so interesting when you look at these cards together, they kind of have similar imagery. Here we see the skull with the horns, and then here the wands are like breaking, like busting through it. And the Devil is a card that talks about us being stuck, feeling restricted, feeling tied down. I think this is very apropos, especially if you guys are watching this in 2021, that many of us have been like tied down to our home or tied down in our city. So you guys maybe up until now have been feeling stuck or dissatisfied with where you're living, or perhaps whom you're living with, and feeling like there's nothing that you can do about the situation, because the Devil is not only being tied down, but it's also like our head being filled with negative thoughts. And I wonder if some of this anxiety here is like if you're trying to get your dreams off the ground in a household of people who aren't really about that. Like your living situation could be contributing to some of this anxiety. But with the wands busting through the skull here, I feel like this is a sudden breakthrough or a sudden positive change in your living situation. The Eight of Wands is also kind of similar to the Uranus energy, a card that can show sudden change and delays like suddenly being over, or obstacles suddenly being lifted. So for those of you who have been wanting to change something about your living situation, I want to tell you that that is going to happen sooner than you think. Good news is coming sooner than you think. Additional interpretations of these cards, the Devil can be a sign of ambition, and the Eight of Wands can be a sign about manifesting. So for your dream home, for your dream living situation, if you guys do any manifestation practices right now, they will absolutely pay off. And I do feel that in general, this is a time where limiting beliefs are being worked through. You're freeing yourself from the chains of the past, and you're realizing that my future does not have to be a continuation of the past. I can do something entirely radically different. And with this kind of sudden and erratic energy that I see here, maybe this isn't going to resonate for everybody, but I feel that some of you might. It's like you just get a sudden urge to move somewhere. You know, like Kelly Stamps, how she's just always moving to different states. You guys might get a case of, I think she calls it the zoomies or something, where you just want to like zoom to another place and live in an entirely different environment because, you know, it's like new me, new home. I definitely see self-reinvention for many of you coming through very strongly. So, you know, with the new version of you, you might find that a new house or a new environment or even a new freaking culture is going to suit you better. It's going to suit the new you better. And you may not even know who this new you is yet. But this could really be a period where, like, even some of your own behavior is going to surprise you. Like, why the heck do I want to go here all of a sudden? Or why do I want to pursue this all of a sudden? But just go with it. This is likely your higher self, like breaking through a wall and getting to you more closely. And yeah, I was going to say, like, if somebody told you right now, like where you would be trying to move to or what you would be trying to do, it might surprise you and be like, no, that's not me. I wouldn't do that. But just, you never know. During this period, my advice to you would be like, don't define yourself so rigidly and don't like plan too far into the long-term future. I think short-term plans will be great. Everything will move smoothly for that, but you just never know. Because once you move from point A to point B, maybe there's like 3 new paths for you to consider. So just stay open, because give yourself the room to change, you know? Don't pin yourself down to any identity or anything like that. But yes, sorry, I feel like that was kind of a long tangent, but basically you're breaking free in your living situation. So breaking free from a place, maybe this is you finally getting to travel, go on trips, visit people that you wanted to visit. If you've been wanting to move, no matter how near or far, that will happen suddenly for you. And you actually might have a vision of it before it happens with this eye here, because we were talking about with Uranus that you guys are going to have claircognizance. So you might even be able to like see where you're going to end up, or just know, just have a knowing. You might see like the numbers of the address or something like that. You're gonna get like a sixth sense feeling of it before the change happens. And with this magic, I feel that you really are going to end up in your most ideal environment. Like if you picture your dream house, your dream neighborhood, your dream city, you're going to end up there. Okay, so let's move on now to your career and or studies. So for your tarot cards, we have the Hermit, the Pillar, so this would be the Empress. Yay! And Movement. Wow. It's so funny because I just got this deck yesterday and I was like, what do you call it? Leafing through? Whatever. I was going through all of the cards, and this movement really reminded me of the Eight of Wands. Like, you know, it kind of looks like, especially if you turn it this way, this looks like the Eight of Wands. So things are changing very quickly for you guys in the next 6 months. And I do want to point out the green color of this card, because this makes me think of the heart chakra, and it's kind of like you are moving towards something that you love with regards to your career. So starting over here with the Hermit, this is like independent energy. This is energy of solitude. So I do feel that many of you are going to be embarking on some kind of journey by yourself, like starting a project by yourself, becoming your own boss, or becoming more independent. there's a lot of symbolism like this in the Hermit card. And this is also a card about deep reflection and introspection. So could be that many of you are, and it fits perfectly like with this whole reinvention theme that we have. It's like many of you might be rethinking your career and study path and reflecting very seriously about the direction that you want to go in. And I think many of you are going to be thirsting for more independence. It's like you don't want to be a gear in a machine anymore, or you don't want to be taking orders from people anymore. You're wanting freedom. You're wanting to do something that is more meaningful for you. And I think during this point, you'll be very concerned with finding like the purpose of your spirit. So you're leaning away from like what's going to make me money, or what makes the most sense, or what do other people want, and leaning more towards what does my soul want me to experience in this lifetime? What skills did my soul want me to gain? And this is kind of similar to the Scorpio energy too, where it's like you're diving deep into yourself. You may even be looking into past lives and seeing what you accomplished in past lives and what was left undone, what wrongs you need to right, and really figuring out what your calling is. Many of you are going to get a lot of clarity about your life purpose during these next 6 months, and many of you are going to be taking your life, I think, in a completely new direction, where you're only answering to yourself. The Hermit is all about following your own inner compass and doing things your own way. You guys might not be following like the traditional education path of like, getting the undergrad for 4 years and then doing your master's for 2 years or whatever it is. Like, you're not following the prescribed path of education, or you're not following the tried and true business model, because the Hermit doesn't really get influenced by external things like that. Uranus is like the rebel who likes to change things up and shock people. It's almost that energy of like, if you tell Uranus what to do, he will do the opposite thing just to stir the pot. So I would even advise to keep your mind on going against the grain. Like, what is the beaten path? What is everyone else doing? And then challenge yourself to do something completely different. Maybe that's actually one of your lessons in this lifetime is to move away from following the herd or following tradition and do something completely bold and completely new. With the Empress, this path is definitely going to pay off well for you. This is a card about abundance, prosperity, as well as fertility, meaning that all of your work is going to pay off. We saw this confirmed with the Trine energy, that things will move very, very smoothly for you. And the Four of Wands as well, because this is about success, contentment, successfully completing projects that you have set out to do. So I think you guys are going to see some very nice, steady cash flow. And maybe you guys are already on this Hermit journey, and like the next 6 months is when you're going to start to see it paying off. But I see very good money coming to you guys. The Empress makes me think of someone who is living like a cushy lifestyle. Like, she has everything she needs, everything she wants. She can take care of herself. She can take care of her loved ones. And she, deeply loves what she's doing. Like, she puts her heart and soul into what she is doing. 2 major arcana here is definitely making me think of you guys finding your calling in this lifetime and just kicking ass at it. If I'm being honest, the Empress is like harvest. So rewards are being reaped for you guys in the next 6 months. So finally, we are taking a look at your love life and relationships in general. So for the tarot cards, we have Judgment, the Nine of Swords, and Ghost. Okay, so this is kind of confirming and continuing some of the ideas that came up like over here in the self part of the reading and the living situation part of the reading. I think that there are people in your immediate circle who contribute to anxiety within you. Whether you are aware of it or not, it could be something that is very like unconscious, very subtle, you know, like something about their presence, or like the casual little comments that they make, or even just their temperament, like being around their temperament, to bigger things, you know, like what they expect of you or how they judge you. You know, it could be overt like that as well. But if you guys are prone to like anxiety and overthinking, I feel like there are some people in your circle that are not helping, and you may be breaking free from these people with this 8 of Wands here. And this ghost card, like I'm thinking of literally ghosting. Now, I'm not encouraging you to ghost anyone, but there's kind of that feeling of disappearing from somebody's life, or distancing yourself. You guys might want to do some cord cutting, or at least start to keep a healthy distance from certain people. Because the 9 of Swords, like, yes, it's anxiety, but I kind of think of it as like unnecessary stress or unnecessary anxiety. I think there's certain people that you're dealing with that you don't have to be dealing with, at least to the extent that you are, or you don't have to be giving them that much power and influence in your life. So if there's anybody in your life that kind of like gives you stress, and it can be anybody, whether it's like an acquaintance, someone in your friend circle, a family member, a roommate, a coworker, whoever's like giving you stress and anxiety, I feel like they're going to be disappearing, or you're going to be disappearing from their life, or, you know, the distance is great enough that it doesn't stress you out. Because judgment is like assessing the situation objectively and choosing to move on to something greater, something better, something more peaceful, something that serves you more. So this is like moving on from certain connections for sure. If somebody has ghosted you in the past, there's also a message to let them be, like it is what it is, and let them go and move on from them. Again, like assess the situation objectively. This person has made their choice. They're not in my life anymore, and I'm not going to stress over this person. I'm not going to obsess over this person anymore, because again, this is like unnecessary overthinking, keeping yourself up or keeping yourself distracted. So I think it's really time for you guys to cut ties with people, either people who have been stressing you out with their presence, or people who have been stressing you out with their absence. Just let them go, because you're moving up, and we want you to feel good when your dreams come true. We don't want your mind to be like somewhere else worrying about what this person said or what this person thinks. We want you to be here with yourself and celebrating yourself and proud of yourself. Like the 4 of Wands is truly one of the greatest joys. It's like one of the greatest happinesses in tarot, like the happiest card, I should say. And I would say, like, it kind of sounds weird to say it in English, I think, but it's a waste to have this anxiety and this, you know, 5 of Swords and 9 of Swords around you, and when you should be freaking celebrating, you should be happy. So like a ghost, whoosh, cut the ties. You don't deserve to feel this stress anymore, and you're not obligated to hold on to these connections that stress you out. They are a thing of the past, and let them be a thing of the past, and let yourself have your breakthrough, and let yourself have your transformation, and just bask in your dreams coming true. You're the Empress. You're the freaking Empress. Well, you're the pillar in this case. All right. So we are going to finish off this reading with tea leaf fortune cards. So let's take a few here and see if there are any final messages for you guys. Ooh, we have shield. You need to defend yourself. I'm thinking of this as like protection. Protect yourself from this energy. And I think I said something similar in the previous pile, But if there has been any like conflict or separation or tension between you and other people in your life, I think this is advice for you guys to get in the practice of seeing yourself as in the right and defending yourself, and not automatically going to the defense of the other person and justifying their actions and thinking like, oh, I did something wrong, I need to change. Sometimes you can just say like, I was right and that person did something shitty. Like, start getting in the habit of being loyal to yourself, like being on your own side, I think is what this card is saying. Okay, oh, we have a month of the year. We have the month of March, okay? So if March happens to be within the 6-month period from when you are watching this, March could be a significant month. If not, this could also be indicating that somebody born in March is going to be significant in these next 6 months, or something that you started in March is going to come through and come to completion within the next 6 months. And then the next card is Skull. Hidden secrets can harm you. That's interesting because Judgment is also about like things being exposed, things being out in the open. I would just be very critical of the people around you or the people you give your emotional and mental energy to, because I really feel like this is calling for a cleanse, or even cord cutting in some cases. We also have December at the bottom, so December could be a significant month. We have a change for the better as well, and happiness and well-being. These were at the bottom of the deck. So again, with December, if it's within the 6-month period from when you're watching this video, it could be a significant month, or somebody who is born in December, or something started in December that's coming to completion in the next 6 months. But these are all the messages that I see for you guys, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi, number 4s. So if you guys chose the orange calcite, this is going to be a reading all about your life in 6 months from now. I just love this stone so much. It's one of my favorites. Okay, so in case you guys didn't see the intro, this reading is going to be pretty similar to the monthly predictions that I do on my channel, where we start with the general overview and then we get a deeper look into the specific areas of your life. So today we are going to be taking a look at 4 different life areas, which are the self, your living situation, your career and or studies, and finally your love life or your relationships in general. So without further ado, let's get right into it, and we are going to start with the general overview. So for your first card, we have 8, sextile, and T-square. All right, so I'm gonna start by taking a look at time frames that could be significant within the next 6-month period. We do have the number 8 here, so if the month of August happens to be within the 6-month period from whenever you are watching this video, then August could be an important month for you, or this could be showing that somebody born in August or born on the 8th of a month is going to be an important person in your life. And then, okay, so we have a lot here. Within the next 6 months, the 2-month mark, the 3-month mark, and the 6-month mark could be when important developments are happening. Okay, so looking further into the meaning of these cards, number 8 is such a lovely number. I like this number. This is a number that brings abundance to you. It brings gifts. It brings money. It brings good karma. So I feel like you guys are stepping into a prosperous chapter of your life where you're doing very well in your career or your studies or any projects that you are working on. and you are receiving generous compensation for it. This could be a time where you are accumulating good savings, where your business is flourishing, or you're moving up in your job, you're getting promoted. Any advancement in your life that would bring more money to you, I feel like this is going to be happening in the next 6-month period. And sextile, this is a very favorable aspect in astrology. When two planets are creating a sextile, they are harmonious, they are compatible with each other. So I do think that things are going to be moving quite smoothly for you in the next 6 months. Now with this T-square here, it's funny because these are like the same planets like in this card that are harmonious and working together. And then it's kind of like when you jam this other thing into here, they become like at odds with each other. So it kind of looks like there's some third energy that could come in and try to disrupt what you have going on, and this is what you need to be careful of. So there's many things coming to my mind. One thing could just be to make sure that your schedule is not too overcrowded. Like let's say, for the example that you have started a business, like you opened up a shop and you are specializing in a certain type of product and it's going really, really well. This could be warning like not to introduce new products too early on. Like, you know, stick with what you're currently doing and develop that to its full potential before starting to take on other things. Or like if you're working a job, give everything to that job and try not to take on too many like other side hustles or extracurricular activities, because that can start to create stress and tension in your life. I think this is really a time where you want to keep things simple and you want to focus on what's going well, and wherever like wherever the crops are thriving, keep watering that place, you know? Keep things simple. This could also be something like, you know, your work and your projects are flourishing, and so you might want to cut back a little bit on your social life or, you know, your other personal engagements with other people. I think you guys kind of get the picture, but focus on what's really bringing you joy and what's really fueling you, and try not to scatter your energy in too many places, or try not to give everything like equal priority, because you could easily get swamped. And I feel like there's a fine line between, you know, when you're like working on something that you love. Oh no, I just smeared candle ashes. There's a fine line between like being really passionate about it and then the thing that you love becoming a chore. So we want to preserve that feeling of loving what you're doing and this harmonious energy as much as possible. Yes, so this concludes the general overview. So now we're going to take a look at the specific areas of your life. I have 2 tarot cards and 1 oracle card for each of these. So we are going to start off with the self and see what you are looking like and what type of person you will be in 6 months' time. So for your tarot cards, we have the 3 of Wands, the 4 of Cups, and for your oracle card, we have Strength. Nice. And I just saw the number 555 on the camera timer, which means that change is coming. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of personal growth for you in the next 6 months. This strength card, it can mean that you are literally physically becoming stronger. So that could be a message for those of you who have been like working on your fitness or strength training or something like this. It could be your mental strength, like you're becoming a lot better at focusing, you're becoming a lot more perseverant and patient. And then of course, this can be emotional strength, where you're becoming more resilient and compassionate towards yourself. With the 3 of Wands, there is a message of growth here as well. And again, this is like a physical thing, but if you're trying to grow something on your body, whether it's like growing muscle, growing your hair, growing your butt, you know, anything like that, I think you're gonna go through some kind of pleasant growth in the next 6 months. Also, the 3 of Wands is making me think of someone who is becoming very confident and is coming out of their shell. And specifically, I feel like you guys are going to become better at showing off is not the right word. Well, maybe better at showing off and better at recognizing your own accomplishments and celebrating your own accomplishments. So if you guys are like really the humble type, like there's nothing wrong with being humble, but I feel like maybe in the past you guys have been the type to like, you know, reject compliments or to downplay your accomplishments. So if somebody's like, oh my gosh, like oh my God, Marlene, your speech is so good. And you're like, oh really? I wasn't even trying. I was just improvising. Sorry, that was a Vine reference. But you know what I'm saying? Like when you get compliments, instead of being like, oh no, I wasn't that good, or it's really not that big of a deal, you actually feel comfortable accepting it. And even you will, you know, brag about your accomplishments from yourself, which is a good thing. You guys, I feel like you guys need a good dose of confidence, and that is what you will have in 6 months' time. I see you guys working on your skills. Maybe this has to do with the 8 here, when we see you like creating money and abundance in your life. I see you guys reading up and learning on skills that could help you in your career and becoming very passionate about learning everything that you can. There's this message of you guys like acquiring knowledge or acquiring information and then sharing it. So you might be teaching people what you learn, you might be tutoring people, or maybe you're just really excited about the things you learn and you can't wait to like tell it to the people you know. You could be sharing it on a blog or social media, or even like writing an essay, a research paper about your findings. You're like dispersing the knowledge that you have accumulated. Some of you guys will even have like an exchange thing going on with somebody else. Like you teach them this and they teach you that, and it's like a mutual agreement. Basically, you're broadening your mind, you're broadening your skills. With the 4 of Cups here, there's also a message of you guys discovering something about you that was always there, but now seeing the strength in it, or now seeing the beauty in it. So just to give an example, let's give an example of like your physical beauty or something. It's like you're finding the way to properly care for or style your natural hair so that it looks amazing. And you didn't have to do any drastic changes to it. You just needed to give it the right care so that she can thrive and be her best self. Or like you're finding the best diet that works really, really well for you. You know, so you're working with what you already have naturally and just like tailoring stuff so that it really shines through well. I don't know, maybe those were kind of bad examples, but I hope you know what I mean. Or, you know, the perfect like makeup routine for you that just accentuates your natural beauty that was already there, so that you don't have to like drastically change anything about yourself. It's like this kind of thing. You're seeing a beauty in yourself and you're seeing a radiance in yourself that was always there and waiting to come out, but it just needed the proper attention and love and care. And you know, the 4 of Cups is about something you're not seeing, but it's also about kind of being like bored or discontent. So I feel like you're coming out of this energy where you were like, there's nothing special about me, or just feeling like meh or average. But when you shine the right light on yourself, you realize like, holy crap, this part of me is beautiful, or like, holy crap, I'm really good at this. You know, you just needed the right light to see it under. But another thing that I'm picking up from these 2 cards, because this is about like going big, expanding your horizons. Some of you guys may be getting a little bit like bored of your current situation and you're wanting to strive for greater heights. Maybe we'll see a little bit of what this is entailing later, but you guys you're ready to be serious about your rewards, about your abundance, and maybe kind of you're starting to feel like you've outgrown your current environment. And I feel like we see you working up your confidence and preparing for like a big move in your life. All right, so now let's take a look at your living situation. So for your tarot cards, we have the 2 of Coins, the World, and Pain. All right. Okay. I'm going to start with the World. this is kind of literal, I think, when it comes to living situations, because the world is about, oh, same as the Three of Wands, like expanding your horizons. I'm thinking some of you guys might be making a really big move or preparing to make a really big move in the next 6 months. You know, like, because if you think of the world, that's like, the whole world is your oyster. You could move to a whole other country, you could move to a whole other continent. And maybe this has to do with that boredom that is starting to creep up here in the earlier part of the reading, where you're a little bit tired of your current environment, your current day-to-day life, and you want something completely new and completely fresh. And actually, there may be some like dream work opportunity, dream study opportunity, or some like notable people that you want to work with, but they're like far away. So you're thinking, oh, I want to go there because my dream job is there and I want to go and collaborate with these people and like be under their wing, working with them. And so you're starting to get a thirst for something bigger. And I think you're going to want some like new people around you. There's really favorable energy for you guys to be meeting new people and really finding your tribe, like really finding your circle, you know? But I'm wondering if a lot of you guys are kind of on the fence about it at this point, because we have the Two of Coins, which can show like juggling between two things, kind of being on the fence, like I said. And then we also have pain here, which this imagery looks like waves. And that was interesting to me because the Two of Coins in the traditional imagery does have like a wavy, turbulent sea. So you might be kind of up and down when it comes to this. Like some days you're literally ready to pack your bags and pick up and start a new life. And then other days you feel pulled back to stay where you are. And with the message of pain here, it could be like the pain of missing people in your life, like the pain of missing your friends and family or missing your hometown, or it could be the pain of adjusting to a completely new place, you know, worrying about homesickness, worrying about navigating your way around, language barrier and cultural differences, if that applies. You know, transitions always come with some kind of pain or discomfort. So it's like, I feel like you're kind of up and down with it. Some days you're feeling really good about the decision, and then other times you might feel a little bit scared. Oh, an alternative interpretation of this is if you guys are watching this in 2021, it really has been like a roller coaster recently, and we hear good news, things are getting better, and then we hear bad news, things are getting worse. So that might be kind of an emotional roller coaster here. Like some days things are really looking up and it seems like you can make the move that you want to and live the life that you want, and then some new piece of news comes out and it's like, nope, you can't go, we're stuck where we are. So that might be like the waves or the turbulence that we see here that could bring some pain or discomfort to you. But I feel like you are thirsting to be somewhere else in 6 months' time. I think strong possibility that it's related to your job with the Two of Coins here, and with the number 8, which shows you pursuing your abundance. There may be some sort of fated connection for you in another place as well. Just something about the two hands here and the thread that they're holding. It reminds me of like the thread of fate. So if you feel an inexplicable calling towards another place, could be that there is a fated soul there for you to meet. Ooh, interesting. All right, so now we are going to take a look at your career and or studies. So for your tarot cards, we have the Fool, Justice, and Passion. Ooh, we have a lot of like red and orangey colors here, which is making me think of passion. It's making me think of creativity. It's making me think of fire, which is like inspiration and desire and adventure and spontaneity. And you guys even picked the orange calcite, which has that same kind of vibe for me. So very interesting. There's some element of destiny here when it comes to your career or studies, because you have 2 major arcana here. We were just talking about this thread that is like calling you somewhere else. I feel like this is a very pivotal moment in your life. You are finding your calling. You're finding your confidence. It looks like you're finding a fated connection as well. Now, the Fool talks about completely brand new beginnings, completely fresh start, clean slate. It can represent an unexpected opportunity that is coming to you. And I think this is going to be very positive. Almost like you never expected that it could be offered to you. Maybe you felt like it was out of your league in some way, or maybe it was something that you imagined yourself doing later and you just didn't realize that you were ready yet, because the Fool can also be kind of like an inexperienced or amateur sort of energy. So you might be like, what, me? This opportunity is for me? But it is a fated opportunity. And I just think, like, with the world here as well, I think many of you are going to see yourselves in a completely new environment, one that is much more different from your current environment than you might imagine. And some of you, I think, are going to be like in a faraway place, because it's like something completely new and different, and you feel unfamiliar. You're like this little baby chick stumbling through the new environment. And then we have Justice, which I was getting this feeling of like a fated connection with the 2 of Coins here. And then we have the Justice energy, which is about partnerships. There's Libra and 7th house energy to this card, so I'm reading it as like a partnership, a relationship. Now, I do want to tell you guys, while you might be feeling unprepared for this opportunity, you are ready. The universe would not be presenting this opportunity to you if you were not ready. And the Justice card, you know, if you think about fairness, it's fair, it's logical. The sword represents truth and clarity. So it's like you deserve this opportunity. You are the logical choice. It's fair to present this to you because you have everything that this role needs. And you're going to be a great fit for it, you know? Justice is about like counterparts and things balancing each other. So it's like you are a good fit for this position, and this position is a good fit for you. I think it's completely normal to stumble and have a learning curve whenever you dive into something new. And, you know, if you were already completely comfortable in this new opportunity from day one, that means like there's nothing here for you to learn. There's no way for you to grow. Like, we want to have that challenge and we want to have that moment of being a clumsy little baby duck, because that means we have such a long way to grow and to reach our fullest potential. So embrace this energy of feeling like a beginner, of feeling like a deer in headlights, and embrace the energy of making mistakes and having trial and error, because I feel like that's exactly what this job needs. Justice can also be about contracts. So you might be signing a contract for like long-term employment, a long-term partnership with another person or another organization. And I think you're going to be very, very well liked within this career. People are going to love what you do. They're going to love that you bring like a fresh energy to it as well. And if there's any interview or evaluation process during this, you're actually going to come across very, very well. Like, I see Justice as like you were very charming and you came off as somebody who has a good head on their shoulders, and that you will be assessed favorably. And I think I said something when the number 8 came out about you guys having good karma. And Justice is a card that makes me think this as well. In fact, in some decks, Justice is the 8th card. So this opportunity coming to you in your career or studies, it is a result, of course, of your hard work, but I also think there is some good karma that is bringing this to you, because this is really like your dream coming true. And someone or something inspired you a lot to pursue this path, and you didn't ignore that inspiration. You didn't ignore that call. Like, you heard that call and you followed it to see what it would bring you. And that takes a lot of bravery. That takes a very strong connection to your higher self. And so when you follow your heart and arrive at this opportunity and you take it, you are going to in turn be that source of inspiration for other people. Like somebody activated you to pursue this path, and now you are going to activate other people through what you do. It's kind of a weird message, and I hope that that will make sense for your situation, but part of your purpose in here is to inspire others, to awaken their passion. And oh my gosh, I just realized I hadn't even spoken about this passion card yet. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to be very passionate about what you do. Again, I see mirroring images. I see two forces coming together. So maybe there's like some work collaboration here, or this is hinting that all of these changes are going to lead you to this important soul connection. But no doubt, this is a very, very passionate chapter in your life where you feel passionate about yourself, like you fiercely love yourself. We spoke earlier in the reading that you're really starting to see your beauty and your skill, and to boldly not be shy about what you're good at, but to show it off. And then you're feeling passionate about the work you do, and then you're feeling passionate about somebody. I don't know if this person was just like your muse, your inspiration to follow your dreams, or if it's like a collaborator, or if there's something more, like it's going to turn romantic. But I don't know, there's like an important person whose energy keeps like butting into this reading. Maybe you guys know who it is. If not, I guess you would have to wait 6 months to figure out who this is. Interesting. But we did see earlier that somebody born in August or born on the 8th of a month could be significant. We also have air sign energy here, or more specifically Aquarius and Libra, in case that gives you a little bit of a hint. Okay, so now we are finally going to move on to the relationships and or love life section of this reading. So for your tarot cards, we have the 7 of Swords, the Sovereign of Swords, so this is the Queen of Swords, and Confidence. Well, I'm not surprised to see this at all, because this whole reading we have been talking about how confident you are becoming. Look, he even has the glasses. Like, he knows he's cool. He knows he's hot shit, and this is going to be you. Not only are you confident, but you're in your queen energy here with this Queen of Swords. So it's interesting because we do have messages of you coming out of your shell and meeting new people. If you guys are single, I think this is a great time period for you to meet somebody new or to unite with somebody. Or if you're already in a relationship, this is a great time for making new friends and networking. Actually, that's a message for everybody, regardless of your relationship status, making new friends and networking. But I'm also being reminded of what we saw at the beginning of the reading, which is like, don't put too much on your plate, be selective with where you put your energy. So while I do think you're meeting new people and really finding your tribe, I also see you guys being very selective and even picky with the people you hang around with. And I think that that's actually a very good thing, because you want to like keep your mind on your money, keep your eye on the prize. And if you're going to create space for people in your life, you want it to be people who uplift you, people who believe in you, and also people who you believe in, like you believe in what they're doing, you believe in what they stand for. So you're not looking for just some like casual or meaningless connections. You want something real. You want something that's mutually respectful and supportive. And you also want to find people who are confident and that you find really, really cool. So even the world too, it makes me think of like, how can I say it? Like a higher status or a higher caliber. I feel like you guys are going to be meeting some really interesting, like cultured, successful people. I feel bad to say that that's higher level, because it sounds like I'm putting people on levels, but it's like you're meeting different, more varied and diverse kinds of people. But yes, the Queen of Swords definitely shows somebody who is being very selective. She has her sword to cut away things that are not serving her, and she is not afraid to use it. So my advice for you guys, if you are looking for a romantic relationship or friendship or collaborators, whatever it might be, keep your standards very high. And trust your gut. Like if you get a feeling right from the get-go, like, I don't really vibe with this person, you're not obligated to like keep giving them more chances or keep investing more time. And I know that might sound a little bit harsh, but honestly, I feel like you guys at this point, you know yourself very well and you understand like vibes very well. You understand like if someone's giving you a good vibe or a bad vibe, and you're also trusting the universe. Like if someone's meant to be in my life, they will stay around. But I don't see you guys necessarily like pressed about clinging to people or keeping people in your life. It's like if they're meant to be here, they will be here, and I'm gonna keep focusing on me and what I got going on here. There's also a message that you guys might be intimidating to some people, especially in terms of dating. I think I can see not people being intimidated by you, but you know when you think someone is so cool and you really, really want to be friends with them, and you're like, I don't know if they would like me or if they would talk to me, and then when they do, like, you're so happy. There might be something like that with friends, where they're like, oh my god, I saw you over there and I thought it was so cool what you're doing and I didn't know if you wanted to talk to me. Like that kind of, it's not really intimidation, it's more like friendly admiration. But when it comes to dating, I feel like there might be some people who are intimidated by you, and they are intimidated by your confidence. If someone is intimidated by your confidence, maybe it's best not to pursue further relationships with them, because if they're only going to be comfortable around you if you are insecure and therefore, easier to manipulate or take advantage of, that's obviously not the type of person we want around you. And you do have the Seven of Swords here, so you have to be kind of careful about people's intentions. There might be people who don't have the best of intentions. Like maybe they just want something from you, whether that's like a physical relationship, or they want some of your success, some of your abundance. Or there could be people who are like really talking themselves up, but they're not all they're cracked up to be, if you know what I mean. Like maybe they're bragging about all of their accomplishments and stuff, and it's not true. You know what I mean? Like fake people. So just keep an eye out for anybody who's like coming across as too overly confident or seems too good to be true, and really, really keep checking in with your gut, like if the vibe feels right or not. I would also stay away from like meeting people online or meeting people through social media. The Seven of Swords is a card that I associate with the internet or social media. I spoke about this in a video a few months ago, and there were quite a few people who were curious about that. Like, why do you think the Seven of Swords is social media? It's because Seven of Swords is about deception, and it's about not having all the information. So if you think about somebody's like who they are on social media versus who they are in real life, there's a lot of room to there's a lot of room to like curate what you show about yourself, or just flat out lie, make your life or make you look like something that it's not. So that's why I associate it with social media. So if you see someone online or on social media and you're like, oh my god, they seem amazing, just be wary. Like, don't draw any conclusions. I would kind of stay away from online stuff and try to meet people in person and get a feel for them in person. And even better if like you already have mutual friends and acquaintances, so like this is a good egg, this is a good person to keep around. And maybe this person who keeps showing up here is already kind of in your circle. Like you have mutual friends or acquaintances or mutual collaborators, or you will in 6 months' time. And that's how you're gonna come together. I think if there's any romantic interest coming to you guys for singles, that you will be able to meet them in person, and that you will get the good vibes from them in person. Just be careful. That's really what this part of the reading is saying. Be careful, because you're vibing so high, and we don't want that to be brought down by fake people or people who have fishy intentions. So keep your standards very, very high. And if you feel like you are being picky, you're doing something right. Okay. All right, so we are going to finish off this reading now with the tea leaf oracle cards. So we'll take a few here and see what other messages you guys need to know about your life in 6 months from now. I have to say though, it's very interesting. I feel like, I don't know if it was all of the piles, but at least 3 of them have some message in the relationships department about like being more selective, about, you know, keeping your distance from connections that don't serve you or cutting ties. Like there's this kind of like protect yourself, protect your energy vibe that's going on through all of the piles. Interesting. Maybe it's like a collective thing where we're just learning to honor ourselves more and learning to have healthy boundaries more and, you know, really pick the best of the best matches for us, which you guys are. Ooh, diamond, you'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. Wow, this says so many things to me. It says appreciation, that you guys will be very appreciated. It says luxury and opulence to me with this diamond. Diamonds make me think of like brilliant ideas as well. And in fact, I think diamonds can connect you to your intuition and connect to like clairvoyant abilities. So I see, what did I say already? Appreciation, luxury, brilliance, which is you, you're brilliant, and possibly a commitment from somebody, you know, because the diamond ring is like an engagement ring or a wedding ring. Now that doesn't mean that you're going to be engaged or married in 6 months. Well, maybe you will, but I know that's not going to resonate for everybody, but there could be an important committed relationship coming to you. Could also be somebody born in April, because diamond is our birthstone. What else does group 4 need to know? We have a months of the year, February. Okay, so if February is within the 6-month period that you are watching this video, February could be important. Could also be somebody born in February who will be important, or something you started in February is going to come to completion in the next 6 months. Ooh, okay, let's take, oh, okay, there's 3. Dog far away, a distant friend is thinking of you. And why is this making me think of our mystery person? Mystery person who is showing up throughout this reading, who seems to be somewhere far away, but somehow connected to you and seems to be offering a commitment. Where are you? Well, they're somewhere thinking of you. We have repeating letter D. So D could be an important, somebody's initial. We also have the letter P, which is repeating here. What do we have here? No. So repeating P's and repeating D's. Initial, the name of a place, a city, a country, a state, a company. Spear, heartache over what you no longer have. It's funny because I feel like this is what was keeping you guys in your comfort zone. Like being sad or being afraid to move away from your current life. So there may be a transition that is bittersweet for you guys. On one hand, it's very exciting and your dreams are coming true, but there's like a longing for your old home. There's a longing for your old life. And then we have flute, disappointment in a friend or lover. Just, I'm saying like, be careful. And I'm thinking of like, I'm thinking of words like déception, or like, you know, like déçu. That's like French and Spanish. It means like disappointed, but it sounds like deception. And the 7 of Swords, it was talking about deception. So I feel like it's like you're meeting somebody online or on social media who's really like talking themselves up, that like, oh, they can help you, they have all these resources, or like they're this big shot, and then they're just not. So just be careful of fake people. Especially those of you who are like, because you know, the flute is an instrument. If you're like in the music industry or the entertainment or the arts or something like that, there could be maybe someone who is kind of pretentious, or, you know, trying to act more influential than they are to make you like stick with them or like them, like that kind of shady stuff. So just be careful of that. Could even be an organization, like it doesn't necessarily have to be one person, but anyway, just be careful of that. Keep your intuition on guard, if that's the right word, okay? So those are all the messages I have for you, so I'm gonna end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. I'm sending you lots of love. And I forgot to say the thing about my Patreon. I also have a Patreon, so if you are interested, it's so weird. Like if I change the order of my spiel, I completely get lost. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. I'm sending you lots of love, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.